Let's talk a bit about the best way to approach the setup for the bench press in your training program, specifically arching your back. There's a school of thought with regard to the bench press that creating a larger than normal arch through your back can help to maximize the load on the bar. Certainly, if you watch any powerlifter, you can bet that they'll create an arch to the extent that the rules allow them to. In some cases, you get some rather crazy and creative looking setups. Now, I'll come out and say that for my money and for your training program, training with this exaggerated arch is not ideal. You're better off with a neutral spine, nothing more than that. And if you're thinking to yourself right now that you've heard creating an arch through your back lets you use more weight, well, you might be right. But my counter to that is that more weight is not the same thing as a better training stimulus. One of the big reasons why an arch like this can be useful for stacking weight on the bar is that it helps to reduce the distance that the bar has to move. By arching your back and lifting your chest in the air, the bar doesn't have to travel as far to reach your chest. Shorter distance means less work for that given movement, which means you can increase the load. And if you're a powerlifter, then obviously you're going to do this if you're allowed to. As with any sport, you want to do whatever you can within the confines of the rules to put up the best result. Nobody starts 10 meters behind the starting line in a 100-meter dash, so as a competitive technique, who am I to argue? But as a training technique, no thanks. Shortening the range of motion is not a good thing with the bench press, no more than squatting halfway down or failing to extend your arms to the bottom of a pull-up is. By shortening the range of motion, you're depriving your joints and muscles of the impact that the full range of motion would otherwise deliver. We want reps to be challenging. We want to invite the full magnitude of what any lift can deliver because it provides a more effective stimulus. It further drives the type of changes that we're looking to see in our body, even if it doesn't allow for as much weight as possible. I understand that there's more complexity to this issue than just the range of motion being shortened by an excessive arch. But at the end of the day, my position is that a significant arch in your back doesn't add to the training value of the bench press. It does if it happens to be one of the elements of your sport, that is, powerlifting, but for the rest of us, it doesn't. So when you're performing the bench press in your program, you're better off keeping the natural position of your spine. Back and butt on the bench, abs engaged, and move the bar with full range.